Okay, I want you to imagine a 17-year-old girl. She goes to a party with her friends, and this party is about 20 minutes away from her house. She gets to this party and she decides to drink a lot. She becomes very intoxicated. And by the end of the night, she's uncomfortable and she wants to go home. However, her friends want to stay at this party. They don't want to leave with her. And they figure out 20-minute ride, you can get an Uber back. So, not being the best friends that they are, they let her get an Uber by herself. So, she's heavily intoxicated, she gets on her phone, her friends help her figure out the Uber, and the Uber comes, she gets inside, and it appears to be a young man, not too creepy, not too old, and it's a pretty quiet ride. He doesn't talk much, but she's so intoxicated that she feels herself slowly starting to detach from being conscious, and she becomes unconscious by the end of the ride. So she becomes completely unconscious, and the Uber driver looks back, notices this. He's aware that she's unconscious, and when they're about 5 minutes away from her home, he pulls over into a neighborhood, like close by, and he gets out of the front seat, gets in the back door, and he rapes her. This is not just some random story that I heard about a while ago, or some random thing I made up. This is a story about a girl I was actually friends with who lives very close to me. And she was getting an Uber from Huntington Beach, where I live, where the party was, to Laguna Beach, where she lives. And this was the man that raped her. The scariest part for me was that I've taken Ubers from Huntington to Laguna at night by myself many times, because a lot of my friends live in Laguna. So that's why I really felt compelled to research the issue of sexual assault caused by Uber drivers and what we can do to stop it. So I decided to look into this because I really didn't know much about it. So I went on a website called Who's Driving You? And that's where I found report after report after report of sexual assaults caused by Uber drivers and Lyft drivers. These are just a quarter of the reports that have happened within 2016. Now, I realized a major reason, researching more, I realized a major reason that this has not been stopped and it continues to go on is because of the background checking system that both Uber and Lyft have. Uber and Lyft both use companies such as Accurate and Checker to look into their employees that they're looking to hire. And just to give you an idea, taxis use a system called LiveScan, and this is a fingerprint-based system that is much more effective. The difference between these is Accurate and Checker. You only have to provide your name and your social security number, and it searches a very surface-level search engine that does not go deep into criminal files, and it's very surface level. And also, what people can do, because it's not fingerprint tested, is that they can lie about their identity through it. So that's when I also found the One Standard for All study, which was a peer-reviewed study by law enforcement experts, which found that companies such as Accurate and Checker, there's 43 times more error-prone than fingerprint checking. Additionally, in the case of California versus Uber Technologies, according to an article in Bloomberg Technology, Uber was sued by San Francisco and LA district attorney prosecutors for charging a service fee. You know how in Uber you have to charge a safety fee, and they sued both San Francisco and LA district attorneys sued Uber because of this safety fee that you have to pay. Yet they're not running proper background safety precaution measures. So, additionally, what Uber and Lyft have done is they've come together and they've spent $9 million to go to lobbying groups to prevent fingerprint screening to be put in place for their companies. And you might ask, why is this? That is because they want as many drivers on the road as possible with criminal records or without criminal records, and in order to increase their revenues. So basically what Uber and Lyft are doing is they're putting their own personal interests above the safety of their customers. So more lies and denial. Why do these sexual assaults keep happening? Well, this is a screenshot, and here's another one, from a person who used to work for Uber. Now, this isn't a screenshot from my computer, but this is a direct screenshot from an ex-employee of Uber who went on Uber's search engine, where you can look up all the reports that have been filed if you search a key, like a keyword or whatever. And this first one is sexual assaults. Now, Uber has only reported five instances of rape, and they've only released this to the public, and they've only reported 170 instances of sexual assault. But this Uber employee who used to work for them leaked this, and there, as you can see, there's over 6,160 reports of sexual assault and 5,827 reports of rape. So as you can see, Uber and Lyft are doing their best to really cover this up, and this was clearly exposed. So in a rebuttal published on a website called Medium, the Uber chief safety officer says that this was because many people in their reviews misspell rate when they're like rating something as rape. So pretty sad excuse for the cover up of millions or thousands of sexual assault cases. So what needs to change? Lyft and Uber both need to release records of all sexual assaults that have occurred, and also in the future all of them that will occur. They also need to implement, this is the most important thing, they need to implement fingerprint background checking systems for such as LiveScan that taxi companies use. They also need to provide help to those who are sexually assaulted through legal support, free counseling, and an open space to discuss what's happened to them. They also need to educate the public on safety precautions that you can take when using Uber or using Lyft. Now, what can you do? The first thing you can do is sign petitions. As Andrew talked about in his speech about change.org, it's a great website, and there are hundreds of petitions, and these two specific ones are really good for you to sign, and here are the URLs for that. And in order to sign these, there are hundreds more if you type in Uber sexual assaults. And these aren't just like some random surveys, some random petitions with like crazy people. No, it actually they're sent directly to Uber and the Lyft companies so that they can enact change. Now, another thing you can do is to utilize social media. Share, like, repost hashtag, share articles, like pages, repost pictures, and hashtag things like fingerprint Uber and rides not rapes. Now, third thing you can do is write to Uber or Lyft. It can be as simple as this form I filled out right here. And the more of these they get, the more they're going to be inclined to change their system that they have in place that is so skewed. Number 4, be safe. Girls, consider using this new app called See Jane Go. And this app is only female drivers driving only female passengers. So it's a really safe way, and it was just created not too long ago, so many people haven't heard about it, and it's a really safe way to get around. Next is to never ride alone. As you can see with my friend, she took an Uber all by herself, and the chances of that happening if she had her friends in the car with her would have decreased significantly. So never take an Uber by yourself. And also, do not ride if you're too intoxicated, because as you can see, she became unconscious, and that was the reason why he raped her. Also, if you have to take an Uber by yourself, stay on the phone with someone. That's a great way to prevent something. And also, the shorter the ride, the better. Obviously, that 20-minute ride gave a lot of time, I don't know, maybe for the driver to like think about what he was doing or whatever. And also read the checklist that's provided to you. That comes right from Uber. So, in conclusion, Uber and Lyft have inadequate background checks. That is clear. There's a need for fingerprint-based screening, and there's a need for honesty from Uber and Lyft. Support and safety is really key, and you can make a difference. I'm going to leave you with this quote. Safety, just remember this before you take an Uber by yourself, safety is more important than convenience. Thank you.